Hello, Corentin.
Hello,
Would I say nice to meet you or nice to re-meet you today?
nice to see you. Nice to see you today.
Thank you for your availability for this quick talk. We are very happy to introduce you to the B2Line community as an ambassador that you are of the project. I remember a few years ago when we met for a first shooting of Between Lines because you are a photographer and you participated to the first official shooting of Between Lines. We're gonna let you introduce yourself to the community and say who you are.
So my name is Corentin Schimel. I'm 29 years old and I'm based in Paris. I'm an artist, mostly focusing on photography. I'm doing exhibitions, documentaries, and I'm working with many other artists, as well as NGOs and companies. And I also have a legal background. I have worked as a lawyer in intellectual property and co-founded the NGO Barreau des Arts, which provides free legal advisors to artists who cannot afford lawyers on their copyright issues.
Have you met? Do you see an increasing demand of artists, more traditional artists, to try to diversify their work and to experiment like Web3 or use blockchain and NFTs to diversify their experiences?
Yeah, with our NGO, it's something we have noticed more recently. So at the beginning, for the last years, it was more like I would say like classic way of creations, and for the last month, we had our first files about NFT and all of this. So it's something that we see appearing. Yeah.
Nice. So how did you get involved into tech art? So what do you think about tech art? What is it to you? The new dimension of tech in art today?
Yeah, I think I started getting involved into tech art mostly as a photographer, as you mentioned, and we met on this
Yeah.
first shooting with Between Lines. Yeah, I'm working as a photographer and photographing artwork, so in exhibition and in museum. So the notion of space and the environment in art is something I know well. And in terms of tech, I had the experience with contemporary artists who use tech in their art, like having interaction with some avatars or like machine learning like way of creation. So I was really curious to follow these new innovations, even if my practice as a photographer is more classic. I would say it's really challenging for me to open to new perspectives and to discover this new way of creations. Yeah.
Yes, new ways of creation and maybe new ways to make experience from the creation. What would be, and this is an open question because it's a new concept that we bring on the table through our model. But what is your interpretation or your meaning of the digital to physical model?
Yeah.
How does it resonate to you?
Yeah, no, there are many things to say about it. Maybe to, as you were saying, to explain a bit more about the first shooting we had done, because it was really interesting for me in how it was organized. So it was outdoor and indoor. We were in a beautiful park in Paris, and from what I knew from the artwork before was only the digital part. So I had seen it. I really liked it, but I didn't know yet how it would also take its place in a physical environment, and how people would appreciate it and see it. So first, I remember the discovery of the artwork. It was a really positive surprise, and then photographing was a complex challenge, because it's a complex artwork as well. I also remember the interaction of the public, especially outdoor, with the artwork, like a lot of reactions, a lot of curiosity. And then the second part of the shooting was more indoor, to put this artwork in a place where like collectionists could get it. So more how it integrates in this indoor environment. So to me, like, digital has a lot of virtues, I would say, including the capacity of connecting people, and connecting the artist with a wide public, allowing the public to discover and experience the artworks by a virtual exhibition, for example, in the Metaverse, where there's I would say a huge amount of possible experience, and it's a really promising thing. But I'm also very attached to the physical aspects of art, as I was saying, as a photographer, but also as a visitor. When I visit an exhibition, when I buy an artwork, the texture, the color, how you will touch it, how you will put it in a space. And I think to me the question that always remains is what do people really see when they look at an artwork, and what time do they take to appreciate it? Because physical experience also allows a unique contact with the artwork. As I was saying, in photography, it's something which is very clear. The finality is, I would say, is to print for me the artworks, and to ask yourself what technique you will use, what medium, how you will frame it, how people will see it. So I would say that digital to physical combines creativity and unlimited imagination of digital artists to then find a public of owners who can live with their artwork. And that's why Between Lines project is interesting, because it allows the collaboration between artists, engineers, creating a new experience. And as I was saying, during the shooting, I really realized the amount of details the physical artwork was offering, how it was integrating to a physical environment, how the texture was, the colors, the reaction to light. So digital really served the project, I would say, and allowed its unicity. But in fact, the fact that the owners can print it in 3D and then have their own specimens in their house bring a full experience.
I would ask you a more global question to enlarge also the vision. What is to you the main challenge? And I include potentially, maybe a part of your answer would be legal, of Web3. If I take a photograph, you say I do photography and I exploit my work more like a classic photograph. Mm-hmm. What would be the challenge, for example, for a photograph to propose new experience using Web3?
First, I would say the first thing is to find your public, because as I was saying, I think a lot of people who like, for example, photography are really getting used to buy photography books, to go to exhibition and all. So I think you have to create an experience around the artwork. It's not just a photography on like that you will see virtually. You have to create something around it, so it can also be the full experience, interaction between the artist and its communities, creating events. There are many things that you can do. Then as a photographer, maybe not all photographers are made for Web3. Maybe some of them will want to stay also in a more classic way of showing things. But for those who want to explore this, the legal part will be something interesting. I think, especially with NFT, we can hope that the legal protection can be reinforced, which is something where photographers are really used to see their artwork infringed. There are some tools to prevent it, but it's still a really problem. So we could hope for I would say for more protection. But then I guess artists will probably look for a balance and try to keep on making the art in a more classic way, but also open to new experience, to meet a new public, and to make to show the art more wider. I think Web3 can really offer this. I would say it.
Okay, thank you. Very clear. So you see Web3 globally as a new medium of reach and experience building from artists.
Yeah, exactly.
So Metaverse, I think it's a good application. We see that today, in terms of, if we talk about adoption, Metaverse is still not well or understood by people, let's say not native Web3 people. The use of the Metaverse, in a kind of virtual exhibition for photograph, photo work, or any artistic work. So that you say that it can serve also as a good way to propose new experiences. And I think Web3 is all about proposing new experiences from the artwork, which is the core.
I would say to reach new public as well, because big debate in art, and especially in contemporary art, is how to make it more accessible to public, because art can be seen as something like elitist, and people who are not used to go into a gallery or to a museum, they might not come there. And maybe like this more Web3 experience can allow people to, to feel free from these barriers. And discover things on their own, not having to go to places they would not feel comfortable. At the time, I had funded a media and pietism, and we were really studying, observing, and documenting the like performances or artwork made by artists in the public area. And we were documenting the reaction of the public on all. And
that is the movement you created, the concept, the pietism. Maybe you can say a few words about this.
Yeah, it's something we created with a contemporary artist named Camille Sauer, and the idea was really to, as I was saying, to focus on art coming into the street, not street art, but really art made in the street. And for the artists, it was really interesting because they were having access to a new public, or some were doing already performances in the public area, but for some of them it was really new, and for a lot of people that you would see in the street, it was also like discovering new kind of art, new things. So yeah, we built this, but I was saying that the main thing of it was to also giving access to art to new public, to a public who was not really used to it. And I think Web3 can have the same effect. We can imagine that if tomorrow I have an exhibition in the Metaverse, or in a museum in the Metaverse and all, I will probably be in touch with people who would not come to my exhibition in France. You know what I mean? Or not buying my book here. So I think for the artist, it's something like really promising.
Do you come to the Between Lines first Metaverse party on Tuesday?
Yeah. I will.
Do you have the choice in the answer? That's going to be the first. Okay, thanks, Corentin, for your overall and very rich view. So, if I do a quick sum up in words: accessibility, experience, protection, democratization. Would you have a word of the end, the very last word for concluding this talk?
No, I mean, I really think this project is fascinating because, as you were saying at the beginning, I discovered it like a few years ago now, and I have seen the evolution. I have seen like where it was coming from and where it reached now, and I know it's only the beginning. So I really think it's really promising. Yeah.
Thank you, Corentin, for your time, your support, and this very rich discussion. It's a pleasure. See you soon in digital or physical.